Welcome back. The most popular resolutions for 2023 aren't all that different than years past. About half of those surveyed in a pre-New Year survey by Statista want to exercise more and eat healthier. Probably no surprise. Basically, recommit to health goals that may have been fallen by the wayside. But that resolution to eat healthier often comes with a focus on what we eat instead of how. Pam Moore, a certified intuitive eating counselor, personal trainer, and health writer, joins us this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
So this is so interesting. This is a new concept. You say there is one food rule that we need to keep in mind this year.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Corey. And that rule is eat whatever you want. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, it sounds crazy, but the idea is that when we release these restrictions, we feel free to eat what we want, and we don't have this idea that it's forbidden. So we also release the emotional charge around the food. You know, when you tell a kid not to do something, what are they gonna do? They're gonna do it.
Right.
So imagine you have a chocolate cake around your house. If you knew you could eat it anytime you wanted, you wouldn't feel like, I'm gonna eat it all now, because I'm off the wagon now, but tomorrow I'll be good. And so that can help you create a better relationship with food and end the binge restrict cycle.
So if someone were to say, what is intuitive eating? How would you describe it?
Intuitive eating is based on the idea that you, not something outside of yourself, like a diet, a program, or an app, you are the expert on what you need to thrive, regardless of your size. Despite what the $72 billion a year diet industry would like us to believe, weight is actually not a proxy for health.
So intuitive eating is not a diet. It's just like kind of a way of thinking or a mindset.
Yes, exactly. Where dieting is, let's eat in a way that gets us closer to the goal weight, which ironically, research shows that dieting is the most significant predictor of weight gain. Whereas intuitive eating asks you to let go of weight loss goals, especially as you're starting out, so that you can learn to eat in a way that honors your hunger and fullness cues, your energy requirements, your taste preferences, and your culture.
So what do you think the benefits are of intuitive eating?
Well, I can tell you personally, it's been life-changing for me to let go of all my neuroses about food and really be able to enjoy eating with my friends and family without stressing about calories. Research backs that up. Research shows that intuitive eaters have better self-esteem, better well-being, and better body image. Not only that, but preliminary research is showing that intuitive eating can help with heart health and blood sugar regulation.
How do you find the balance between, like, so many people in America are overweight or obese, and now we're saying kind of eat what you want when you want. Where's the balance?
Sure. Well, depending on how long and how severely you've been restricting, you may go through a period of, people think, oh, what if all I want to eat is pizza? Maybe you will eat pizza for a long time. But eventually, when the novelty wears off, you will find that equilibrium. And when you focus on how you feel, you know that you're gonna feel better most of the time after you eat a balanced meal as opposed to a sleeve of Oreos.
So if someone wants to start intuitive eating, like their New Year's resolutions, I wanna get healthy, I wanna lose weight, I wanna do all the things, how should they start?
I would say start with your mind. So number one, acknowledge what your food police is saying to you. The food police is that voice in your head saying, don't eat this, that's bad, that'll make you fat. Acknowledge, where is that coming from? Was that my mom? Not to throw your parents under the bus. Grandma, maybe a coach, a magazine article that you read. And then number two, challenge those beliefs. Ask yourself, is that true? Is that serving me? If the answer is no, find something to replace it with. And then number three would be, food can be a coping mechanism, but it absolutely cannot and should not be your only coping mechanism. So look in your toolbox and have some things ready to go for when you're having a bad day. That could be meditation, journaling, calling a friend, just to name a few.
Intuitive eating, it seems like, is becoming a little bit more popular lately.
Because
I had never heard of it up until this point, but there are a lot of articles out there about it.
Yeah, there really are. And I'm gonna be beating that drum because it's amazing all the things you can accomplish and do and focus on when you're not stressed out about food and you really trust your own body to make the right decisions for you.
I love it. Pam, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Corey.
And as far as our weather goes,